Zels. Why are we concerned about France in Gay Paris? We've beaten them
Who's the
three
wee pale
times.
face?
We've beaten them three times in the last three meetings. And we have only ever lost 12 in 46 against France. What is it about France that makes us in South Africa, and I talk about us as supporters, feel a little bit vulnerable?
Mate, we hate being the favourites. We are 2-point favourites to beat France in Paris. We love to be the underdogs, mate. We're very uncomfortable when we're the favourites. I'm extremely comfortable being the favourites. The Boks are going to smash France this weekend. All this talk. I mean, I don't think the game is going to live up to the hype. I think the Boks are going to be pretty much in control. They may have to win it in the second half, but I think at the final whistle, there'll be no doubt about who was the better team in that game.
When did France become this big thing for us? 2023 quarterfinal, Anton Dupont, 29-28. Was that it? Because
Yeah.
pre that, no one's ever really cared in South Africa about France.
Yeah, also, we've beaten them, mate. We just keep beating them. After the last 9 times we played them, I think we've lost once. I mean, come on. Do they even qualify as rivals, mate? I don't know.
Well,
Look, I think they've had some great players, but I mean, we can't be too frightened about them. They don't have Antoine Dupont. There's a bunch of guys missing, including Antonio, the tight head. And if you look at that team that they've chosen, which Rassie clearly knew about before they picked it, I think they've got 2 guys with a combined 4 caps in the front row. I mean, Ewan's going to be licking his lips.
So we've beaten them 8 out of 9 times in the last 15 years. We lost once 30-26 in Marseille. Damien Willemse started at 10. Peter Steph Toy got sent off, and his red card would have been rescinded. Is it all about that glamour and the romance of that 29-28 World Cup quarterfinal win for us and defeat for them? I see they're saying we stole the World Cup from them. We actually beat them. You know, when you steal it, it's underhanded. When you beat someone, it's actually right up there. They stole the World Cup from us in terms of hosting. We just want to beat them. So 9 changes in their 15 from the team that started. I looked at that World Cup 2023 side and thought that's a bloody good squad. It's a bloody good starting team. And I look at this one, I think, why is anyone thinking we should lose to these guys?
No, mate. You look at that lineup. I mean, I'm not an expert on the top 14 of French rugby, but Baptiste, 2 caps at loose head. Montaigne at tight head, 2 caps. The Boks are starting Boa and Fenta, obviously not the most experienced loose head in the world, but the average caps in the Boks team is through the roof. I mean, I think in the starting lineup, the average caps is 61, and on the bench, it's 21. Their squad, the average caps are 27, so across the team. So vastly more experienced, definitely more ferocious. There may be some learning curves around starting Boa and Fenta, and a potential unknown factor about these 2 loose heads. But with 5 test caps to his name, Boa and Fenta's got more test caps than the 2 props that are starting for France on the weekend combined. So it may be a bit of a push-pull first half, but I think things settle down in the second half when Quadzilla comes on and restores order. The scrum sheriff, Wilco Lowe, will make a big impact and lay down the law.
Yeah, I mean, you look at our 23, that when you can leave Ethan Hooker out of a 23, you got some serious talent. When you can go hybrid 5-3, 6-2 split, you got some serious talent. Andre Esterhuizen playing the role of a 12 and like a flanker. But again, I keep on saying to my mates, back to the Springbok team. They're number 1 in the world. They're back-to-back world champions. Don't give the opposition as much credit as we tend to give them at times. Like, we're pretty much running the show in world rugby at the moment. And I looked at that 23 that Rassie picked, and I thought, like, so settled, it's so strong, it's so powerful. And then I looked at their 23, like you say, Rassie knew it. An hour before France named their team, he named their team. And he wasn't out by 1. Now, if you talk about mind games, you talk about paranoia, the fact that they locked down their training ground because of South African spies, and then an hour before you officially name your team, the opposition coach says to you, that's the 23 that I would pick, what I think Galtier is going to pick. New Zealand, England, you can kind of like name the 23. Australia, you can name the 23. France, never. Like, you don't name Rassie's 23. There's 6 changes to last week in the starting 15. You don't quite name them. You wouldn't have named Bowen Fenton necessarily. You wouldn't have dropped Ethan Hooker. But somehow he gets it right. So is it a situation that there is a spy, or is Jean-Claude Chiliers the kicking coach giving him something? also known out in the northern suburbs in Cape Town as Flocky.
Mate, I think that they've underestimated Elon Musk's appetite for successful rugby from South Africa. I think there's a Springbok satellite that circles, and maybe they got some overhead shots of their training, mate. I don't know what it is. Rassie obviously had some information, or it's just the luckiest guess in the history of rugby, because it's not even the mainstays, right? This is a completely rejigged French team. Like I've said, there's a bunch of guys in there that don't have much test experience. So, but that's what makes it great, right? That's what makes it's the. I don't know if you saw, but earlier today, the French allegedly accidentally posted their team on their website and then quickly withdrew it, right? So I thought, oh, here we go. Galtier is engaging in a bit of mind games. Rassie beat him to the punch by naming the team himself. I mean, it's all lining up to be a great game on the weekend with this like sort of subplot, espionage. Only thing is, I'm not sure that Rassie's going to be able to hold that 007 pistol because his knuckles on, I think it's his right hand, is not so great, mate. So I don't know. All I know is the Boks are going to win and we're going to be in charge.
Well, the big guy did turn 53 yesterday. I sent him a lovely message.
Yes. Oh,
Many,
beautiful.
many tributes to him, odes to him and all that. So Rassie's 53. It's his 50th test match in charge. It's actually about his 100th because he's always been in charge. Okay, but officially 50th as the mock coach. And Siya Kolisi, it's his 100th.
Yeah.
I mean,
Wow.
Super Siya, King Kolisi, SA Rugby magazine, he is on the cover. Fantastic is their cover because he's the ambassador, he's the people's captain, he's the Bok captain. Opposition respects him. He's got the highest winning record of any Springbok captain in history. And he's playing 100 tests and he's captained them in most of them. So it's an incredible night for Siya Kolisi, incredible night for Rassie Rasmus. Paris, Saint Denis, on the outskirts of Paris at 2200. It's a late kickoff. We've all got to make it there. Eh? We've got to get to 10 o'clock on Saturday night, or we've got to watch it on the highlights reel. But talk me through the 23. I mean, earlier in the week, you said to me, you never, ever hedge in a bet on what Rassie picks. What for you, if any, were the big surprises?
Yeah, I think Bowen Fenton to start. I mean, it's logical, but risky in such a big game, right? I love the makeup of the pack. Obviously, some big names there. You mentioned, obviously, Siya Kolisi's 100th test, which is a mammoth feat. These kind of fairy tale stories have a way of being having a sort of a laced narrative through it. Obviously, his big mate there is Eben Etzebeth, and this is a game that's lining up to be a brute force slugfest. And I have a feeling that this test is going to be remembered for Eben. I think we're going to see Eben pulling out some vintage Eben Etzebeth physicality in this game and reminding everybody what he can do in the trenches. And I'm very much looking forward to it, getting gooseflesh talking about it, mate. So very excited to see some of that. Starting Gaza at fullback, I think, was quite interesting. Starting Damien Willemse at fullback, quite an interesting choice. Back from injury, back to start, moving Ches into the wing and dropping Ethan Hooker. I thought that was a big call. I think Ethan's had a great season, and it would have been good to see him go in Paris. But very much looking forward to Gaza doing the knuckles again and calling for a scrum when they're hitting with one of those long kicks that he can mark it in his 22, mate. So I think the scrum's going to be decisive and maybe a bit up and down in the first half. And I think very much the Boks are going to control the second half. And what's going to be interesting about how they do that is the performance of Johan Grobelaar, who comes off the bench at hooker and runs the set piece. So he needs to have a big game. I think they've sort of lined him up for this. And Grobies needs to have a memorable one to close this one out and win it.
When I look at that 23, like you said, one fenter, and he's done well every time he's played. Probably the only selection I would look at different. I would have possibly started Gaza on the bench ahead of Mani. and gone with, I think Ethan Hooker's just been brilliant, eh? Because he adds a
Totally.
dimension. Chesson and Kirkley are fantastic, but they're very similar. It just gives us something very different on the one win. And with Gaza having been injured, not playing for 2 weeks, I think it's great that he's willing to back and he's telling Gaza that if you're fit, you will be on my 15. But a guy like Ethan Hooker just added for me something so different to the back three dynamic. And then when you put Chesson at the back three, the one that played against Japan last week, I thought was probably the most potent back three I've seen for a long time because each guy offered something so uniquely different individually, but then collectively offered such a potent threat. So that was the one I didn't expect. I thought he was actually going to
Yeah.
maintain that and maybe put Gaza on the bench because he's clearly shown it's not about if he's put Marnie on there, it's a straight swap effectively for Sasha. So and if Damon only goes 60 minutes, Sasha will go to fullback. So he's not thinking we've got to win this thing by 3 points at the end. He thinks Sasha's his guy to do the kicking. And he kicks at 75, 80% for the Boks. And he thinks outside of the Georgia game when he kicked at 1 from 5. And Marnie's good enough to kick at 70%. So it's a very positive intent that he's taken and put out there and said, I don't need the 100 Pollard on the bench to win me this in the last minutes. I've got good attacking players to win it. And yeah, I just Ethan Hooker is one that I thought, Paris, 21 years old, you've had the most incredible season. To me, he's rookie of the year, World Rugby. Not that World Rugby would see that like that, but I do. But Hal's bell. I mean, it's a good 23, and clearly Walker's now the guy that's going to come off the bench and cause absolute destruction in the last 40 minutes. He went with the old centre pairing that we said best in the world as a combination. Sasha and Reinach, that's his starting halfbacks. Grant to come off the bench at 9. Great team. I just feel that I would love to see Ethan Hooker out there against France because they've got similar type wins. Ethan Hooker is a very special player and he's a very unique player.
Yeah,
He honestly reminds.
Yeah. I wonder whether that selection hasn't got something to do with what they anticipate from France's kicking game, because maybe they're anticipating a lot of those little dinky dunk attacking kicks from France. And obviously Chesson is a whippet who can turn and get back. You know, he can work off the ball probably a little bit quicker than Ethan because he's not such a big unit. And having Damien Willemse at fullback potentially gives you a bigger body underneath those cross kicks and grubbers and, I don't know, deeper chips. Maybe they're anticipating France to come out with a bit of a dinky-dunky attacking kicking game. And the thought there is, look, Chesson can get back from having shot up in defense. He can get back and work his way back into the mix to support the fullback probably a bit quicker than Ethan. I don't know. I don't know whether that's a possibility.
Mate, we can continue chatting and our audience will appreciate this. I've just got to actually pay for a takeaway.
Oh, no, mate. What are we eating? I'm on my way.
I paid for a takeaway from Carlisle's on dairy. Johan, just add your 15% to that, mate. Thanks.
Mate, you told me you never tip. What's going on there?
I've become very kind and very gentle, okay? But
yeah, so I just said Damien Phillips at the back, big body, and Chesson to kind of work his way back from the wing to support Gaza.
Look, I think when you're having a conversation of do you leave out Ethan Hooker or do you pick Damien Willemse, you're in a pretty cool position, okay? And I think that's been wrestling. That you can put Andre Pollard in the fan section for a big test match in Paris against the team that most consider to be up north, one of the best in the world. Then you are in a very healthy position. But you can put Walker on the bench, you're rocking, okay? And I just think it's the healthiest period we've seen with the Springboks. It's great that Rassie showed the respect against Japan, picked a very good 23, went out and beat them 61-7. Kind of result you've always wanted to see the Boks do. I think they're geared for this one. And, maybe this is a bit like the miracle of Brighton. Maybe we just need to go there and pump them and then end their romance and say, now that's 9 out of 10.
Yeah.
So when we beat you 9 times out of 10, why are we even talking about you? And
spot on, mate. I'm 100% behind you on that.
Can we beat France? I don't know. We beat them every year. It's like we 8 wins from 9. We've lost 12 historically in 46 test matches. The biggest shock there has been 6 draws.
Yeah, no, 100%. I think the one thing to remember is this is This is a test match with Angus Gardner on the whistle. We've won 4 in a row with him. We've had him for France once. I think that was the match we lost 35. I've got it here somewhere. We lost, I think, 35-18 against France with him on the whistle. But yeah, interesting that we've got Angus Gardner there. The match that we lost with him, we lost 35-12 at Ellis Park in 2017. We won 35-17 against France at Ellis Park. So we've won 4 in a row with him, and we're going for 5 in a row with Angus Gardner. Let's see if we can pull it off.
And that was Tuti's team in 2017 when we did the series here.
How did the team that, mate? How did the team?
What was our team? Warren Whiteley, I think he was captaining the side. Tuti was coaching the side, and we pumped them 35-17. That says it all. Now, we're in doubt about, and I say we, people that I chat to, I go to the spa, and they're like, who? It's France. It's France. Like, yeah. How many World Cups do they have? None. Okay. How many times have they beaten us in the last 10 years? Once. Okay. 15 years? Once. Like, what is it about people like you say, okay, we're going to play the All Blacks, we'll smash them. How many times have we beaten them? Yeah, historically, not many. They pumped us more. But
yeah,
France,
exactly.
France. No, man. Nee, man, ek vat dit nie meer
That will be
nie.
fun. Relax die oopies, you're going to win.
Nee, chef, op die lande dag, jy sien nie, man, Frankrijk is nou mee, man. Hulle gee selfs, hulle probeer op Pieter Steef. The Media Olympic Player of the Year, the Oscar is Pieter Steef. I mean, the French are even giving our player the Ball Player of the Year.
Reverse psychology, mate.
That's the biggest concession they could have made, eh? Media Olympic, which is seen as like the Oscars of World Rugby. Forget World Rugby's awards. Somehow, again, the French who've never won a World Cup. But Media Olympic is seen as the best. That's the biggest acknowledgement that they actually give someone the award. They honored the Springboks. 30 years, 1995 team. I don't know why, but they did. They honored them. Okay, maybe because it's 30 years instead of 20 or 10, but they honored them. Mark Alexander was there to collect the trophy. And then they gave Peter Steff the award for the best player in the world, which he is. In terms of forwards, he's the best player. In terms of backs, Cheslin Kolbe's the best player. So if you look at this, Zelzy, you've got 15 outs from France and you've got 15 from South Africa. If you had to pick a combined 15, how many of those French players make that Springbok team?
No, mate. I mean, that's a difficult one to answer, that even one of them. I suppose Louis Bielbiarri is a personal favorite, but I mean, how do you leave out Kirtley or Cheslin? I mean, it's just insanity. Damien Pennell, obviously amazing, but how do you leave out either of those two guys? So, I mean, the answer is none.
Yeah, I mean, now look at that side, and I think obviously they've got a wonderful two winners who are spoken about with reverence in France, like we speak about ours. And I would say they're like pretty close in terms of quality and on par. But you look at the rest of their side, like you wouldn't pick those guys. And for me, the biggest thing is Aldrid's gone back to his club for love. He said he wants to be loved again. He wants to be at a club level where he's respected. So he went back to La Rochelle. Okay, you got Dupont, who is without comparison in French rugby, their leader. He's gone, and you got Intermac, and then you have Jalibert, who went last year. He left the squad to go play with his club, and he didn't want to play the All Blacks because he said he feels more love at his club where he starts. So that's the psyche of, when I look at 8, 9, and 10, which is the heart of that French team in 2023, they're not there. One's injured, one's injured, the other one's injured, and the other one just wanted to go home to be cuddled.
Mate, it's going to be interesting to see old Romain Intermac go without Anton Dupont. Obviously, Maxime Luco on the bench at scrum off. He's been a very good player, getting on in years though. But like you say, the combinations, like you add Antonio to the mix here. You add Mavaka, the hooker that we both like so much. There's a bunch of experience missing from this team. So unless Galtier has pulled some real aces out of the mud here, you just can't see them troubling the Boks. There may be a little bit of a surprise factor, but the rest of it, they're going to have to punch, and literally punch way above their weight to catch these Boks.
But I mean, if you look at I'm just going online here, and I'm looking at that French lineup, okay? And we've got to educate as well, eh? We've got to educate people when you look at the weekend teams here. And I mean, this French side, I had to look at it twice, okay, to actually understand, like, is this the best that he's got at the moment? Now, you've got They said Thomas Ramos would not play. He's playing, but we also know he's a great kicker, but he's fairly limited in other ways. But you look at that side and you think Baptiste Erdiocio, Julien Machant, and Regis Montagne. I mean, it's like not a front row that's really going to cause us too many nightmares, isn't it?
Read some more names. Read some more names.
Okay, we'll go Thibaud Flamet, Emmanuel Mufo, Anthony Jelonche, Paul Bodenhand, Michael
Yeah.
Goulard, Nolan Le Garrigue, Roman Intermac, Louis Bilberry, Gail Ficot, Pierre-Louis Barisi, Damien Ponot, and Thomas Ramas. It's not bad, eh?
Beautiful, mate. You nailed everyone, and Matty Pierce would be absolutely envious, mate. Well done.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And if you want to know who I'm picking, what I think the match total will be, what my accumulator is, go to africapicks.com on Friday when I put through the accumulator. An accumulator means it doesn't mean I'm going to get everything right. What it means is if you want to make some cash, that's the best possible kind of combination I could put together for you to make some cash. Everyone said, "Oh, you got the Ireland New Zealand game wrong." Yes, I did, but they were nearly 4-1. That's why I said go for them at 4-1. Okay.
Correct. Yeah.
The collector box, Pick and Pay ASAP. We've been doing this collab. You've got one more day to send me your motivation as to why I should give you my Rassie gold card. And then you go into the draw and then you potentially win prizes. People are sending me emails and they're saying, thanks for the prize. There is no prize yet. You get the card. Then you go into the draw, okay?
But you promised.
But you go with a card. And if you do have the Rassie gold card, please don't send me an email because you've got it already, okay? And unless you want to kind of play a game of having two. And then we're going to open the thread on SA Rugby Magazine on the Facebook page tomorrow. Aster will do that for us. And you can do all your swapping because everyone wants to swap with me at the moment. But go onto that Facebook page and connect with the world, the rugby world, and do your swapping there. And on Monday morning, after we beat in France, obviously, and Zels and I have recovered, we will announce the winner of the Rassie Gold card and we'll send that to you and you can complete your set and then you go into the draw to win some cool prizes courtesy of Pick and Pay and ASAP. Zelsy, the Boks are going well. I looked at the schedule this weekend. Nothing else really excites me in terms of the rugger. Last weekend it was
What really
Australia.
excites me, mate, is the Rugby Championship team clean sweep. I think Argentina are going to pulverize Wales. I think New Zealand are going to beat Scotland quite handsomely. They've got a nice big backline again by default. I think the Scots are going to struggle with that. And then Australia, Italy, I think Australia bounces back. So let's hope the Rugby Championship teams raid Europe this weekend, mate, and have a great time.
Yeah, and I mean, for me, the big one is when we play Ireland in Dublin, purely because it's Ireland and it's in Dublin, and we haven't had success there for a while. But as a good supporter of the Boks, a guy who likes to drink his castles as well, as people say, you keep on talking about that. Yes, I do. So go and get your legacy cans, 6 of them, and you could win 130,000 rand. There's only going to be one winner for 130 years. Castle, the taste that stood the test of time. And if you can make it till 10 o'clock on Saturday night, you've done well. And if you can make it to midnight, you've done even better.